All right, guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, so we can update the DOKKANFEST TUR list. Been quite a while since I've updated this, because the last Dokkan Fest that came out, of course, was Master Roshi towards the end of July. We've had a little bit. Now, keep in mind, we've had two really difficult fights. Definitely switch things up. The Gogeta fight and the Janemba fight. Now, I'd like to start this out by saying I'm more so focusing on these four fights. Goku and Frieza, Bulma, Super Gogeta, and Super Janemba. So, I mean, a character could go into, like, you know, the blue Gogeta fight, which has no pressure whatsoever, and easily dominate. Like, yeah, we got that, but that's not one of the hardest fights. I'm just prioritizing those main four fights. We know how this works with Dokkan. They're going to expand upon the very difficult fights by making more very difficult fights, right? Like, the Gogeta shit was months ago, kind of in the past. So, I guess let's just jump in. The Gogeta and Janemba fights, to me, did change things up, I think, quite a bit. Especially for these characters. Dokkan Fest TURs are not really on the level of LRs. They're not, like, just like these, like, I mean, I don't want to say perfect packages, but a lot of these characters do have, you know, some significant flaw that will hold them back from just, like, pure domination throughout the entirety of a fight. I don't think there needs to be such a gap between LRs and TURs, but we'll see. All right, let's jump in. So at 10, we have Frieza. I thought Frieza was actually going to be quite a bit better, but it just is one of those. Oh, the page, it froze on me? What? Dude. Hold on. Frieza, I think, is hurt quite a bit by the new fights. Because it's like, okay, let's just set the scene for Frieza, right? Super Gogeta. If he supers Frieza, we lose instantly. Super Janemba. If he supers Frieza, we lose instantly. Super Gogeta double supers. So it's very common that you're going to see him throughout any given fight super, you know, like all three of the slots and stuff like that. Janemba is really random in my experience. You can't really predict when and where Janemba is going to fire that super attack off, but Frieza dies instantly to it. The Goku and Frieza fight, this guy is incredibly susceptible to the Android 17 phase. You know, using this guy in that Goku and Frieza fight, maybe I just had bad luck, but 17 kept, you know, just decimating this Frieza. Then Frieza potentially could get to a point where he could do a lot of damage against, like, 17 and Golden Frieza and Goku and Frieza, which, I mean, you know, is nice. Like, damage, sure. But, like, a character who doesn't just, like, fucking get killed 2 seconds in every time is usually pretty nice. Now, I mean, I guess Frieza could work well against Bulma. Frieza could do a huge amount of damage to Bulma. We have these additionals in here as well, which can be good. Right, remember, in order to be an effective character against Bulma, you're going to need one of four things specifically. You're a Rainbow Orb Changer. You have tons of additional super attacks built in, right? Or a way to get around the fact that Bulma lowers your ki by 9 during that one section, right? So, like, a character like AGL Broly or Physical Gogeta, the 9th anniversary LRs, they're, you know, get the 9 ki debuff, but they still just fire out all these guaranteed additional, like, supers anyway, right? So, like, they will help, you know, get you through, in my opinion, the most annoying part of that fight pretty handily. The third thing you could have is debuffs. Bulma is susceptible in every single phase to debuffs. Stunning, sealing, attack lowering, all of it. It's all on the table. Frieza does have attack debuffing, which, you know, could certainly help a little bit against Dark God of the Game Bulma, who does so much damage you can't even believe it. And the last thing is you're just incredible. Like, you know, you're like a LR Beast Gohan, LR Tech Carnival Broly, you know, LR Tech Gogeta. Like, one of these. Tech Gogeta's a guaranteed additional super character with Rainbow Orb Changing, so he's already, like, yeah, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, the fourth, when I have, like, that fourth, like, godly tier of character, the two that come to my mind are Beast Gohan and Tech Carnival Broly, right? Like, you want one of those four types of characters. Here's the thing, like, Frieza, I don't know, I think, like, if things go perfectly, like, Frieza can be good. That's where he is at in the game. If everything goes perfect, he could be good. Because he could just sit there and he could legitimately do a lot of damage, but damage doesn't really matter when the bosses dictate shit, right? When you're fighting the real tough bosses, right, who are dripping in toxic mechanics, they don't just let you sit there and use your big damage characters and you're good. It's not what happens, right? When you've got locking into dodge canceling into, you know, damage threshold check bullshit. This guy is also an additional normal merchant. Well, I don't know. That's not really, I guess, the correct term I want to use. But if you're getting additional normals and not supers from like this and the hidden potential and stuff like that, and it takes you a little bit to get to this, I mean, this guy is just not really going to look impressive at all. And then I don't know what they are thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. But obviously, this guy is significantly better against a pure Saiyan enemy specifically because he gets that like that extra additional super. This guy pretty much is just fodder. Dead release. Easily, he would be the worst release this year, except Ginyu Force. They're like, they might be worse than even most of the 2023 releases. So Frieza gets off easy. This might surprise some people, but I dropped Rose significantly. Rose, I mean, we just look at his kit. He does nothing in the hardest fights. Super Gogeta and Janemba, immediately turn 1, Rose will be pretty good, actually. When he's guarding with the damage reduction, that's not bad. That's solid. But the problem is his team is so bad. Super Bosses is just a loser team. It's crazy how so many buffs all year, but it's just like a loser team already. It's just, I don't like Cellmax is good, but like he could get killed instantly. Toppo is good, he could get killed instantly. Tech Jiren was never really that good. AJL Broly is solid, but it doesn't really work too well. Broly, Cha, and Lemo are important on this team, but we don't really have like a good Rainbow Orb changer. Super easy. Goku Black has become unrunnable. I mean, he has to get hit to get defense, and he dies from the first hit pretty much. It's just a mess. Like, Super Bosses is just not even a competitive team, really. And like Goku and Frieza, Rose can't damage Goku and Frieza, right? Janemba and Gogeta could easily just kill him. I guess against Bulma, I mean, if we're using, like, Super Bosses, well, no, I was going to say he could create Rainbow Orbs, but no, that's not even true. Because you need, well, it is true, but you need the Rainbow Orbs for turn 1 and 2. He can't have his domain out like that. So, like, Rose, in all of the toughest fights, he just contributes nothing. Nothing. It's not even his fault anymore, and like Toppo, a lot of these guys who were super good at the start of the year, I mean, they're definitely not as good after Tanabata and Worldwide, right? Like, a lot of these fights, I mean, they're meant for the Tanabata and Worldwide characters. I mean, I don't know. I could probably, in my head, I'm kind of like talking myself into putting Frieza in front of him. Should I? I do like, though, that first turn, I mean, he's got some defensive ability. Right? Like, you can utilize him that first turn. But it's like, again, he can't damage Goku and Frieza. He doesn't do anything, really, to help. I mean, I guess in the Bulma, like, the secondary sequence, I mean, he has all these, you know, this could be good. Because, yeah, I guess that, like, he would be good for that secondary phase of Bulma. Because turn 1, you're sealed. But that doesn't hurt this guy, because he gets the additional supers just as he does attacks. So turn 1, he does 3 or 4 attacks or something like that, and gets you geared up for the guaranteed additional supers, which you could get in the phase where you really need it. So he's got that. But it's just like, it just doesn't... I mean, this is a physical character who's designed around doing 50 attacks, and the toughest boss in the game right now, literally, you do 0 unless you do, you know, over 10 million damage, which he can't really do. I mean, in his domain, I think he can, but it's just, this guy's just completely, he's completely checked by all of the fights. I'm going to keep him in front of Frieza, I think, just on account of this. Whereas, like, you know, it's like Frieza, dude, we just jump into the Janemba fight and Frieza, it's just, he's dead instantly. It's like, all right, well, I mean, he's not very good, right? Like, at what point does a character just fucking die before we go, oh yeah, they suck. So, all right, yeah, I'm wasting too much time talking about these guys at the bottom anyway. All right, next, Hirudegarn, and let's grab Dragonfist as well. Now, I mean, I know there's a lot of sensitive Sallys out there who go, oh my god, why, how could you, listen, I mean, unfortunately, it just is what it is. Dodge characters are going to age better than characters that have raw defense or guard or damage reduction. Why is this? It's because the bosses get stronger and stronger and stronger, and they just hit so hard. The damage that Janemba and Gogeta do doesn't really matter so much when these two are working effectively. They're just dodging it anyway, right? I probably... Oh, man, I kind of want to put Hirudegarn in front of Dragon Fist, because I would almost, unless I'm forced to, I would never run this guy in slot 1. Because of, it's this right here. Yeah, this right here. So, I mean, in order for him to get the 70% dodge in base, he needs to be in slot 2 or 3. Hirudegarn can, but it's just like, dude, like, when I'm running Hirudegarn, like, I've gotten, you know, good value from Hirudegarn, but, like, it's a lot of times I'm like, okay, like, let's put him in front of one attack in, like, the second slot. Like, I don't want to put him in front of a ton of attacks, because he can dodge, and, like, you know, whereas, like, Frieza and Rose, and, I mean, maybe Toppo, Tech Super Saiyan, Vegeta, a lot of these guys just get absolutely crushed. I mean, like Hirudegarn and Dragon Fist could just dodge it, but at the same time, I mean, if Hirudegarn doesn't dodge at all, like, one normal hits him, your entire health bar is gone from one normal. So, it's like, I don't know. It's like, the other thing, too, is that these guys have the luxury of being on good teams. Movie bosses and movie heroes. Whereas, like, these two do not, really, right? Like, it's... I mean, you could run Frieza on Int Broly's team or something like that, or with Int Broly, but Int Broly is half as effective if you're not just running full uncontrollable power. So, I don't know. I think kind of like this looks good. Dragon Fist and Hirudegarn, it's a very simple thing. You're just going to win more and, you know, have more effective runs, you know, with, like, Hirudegarn and Dragon Fist over Rose and Frieza. Rose and Frieza are just completely dead. They're just done already, basically. Next, we have Vegeta. Vegeta actually ended up being a little bit higher than I was thinking initially. This is why I don't, like, rush into making these lists when, like, you know, a bunch of new information comes out. It's like, okay, Vegeta was really not looking that impressive. But, like, the picture I had of, like, Rose in my head and stuff like that is pre-Tanabata Rose. Like, he does not get anything done. Vegeta is not the most impressive. They could have done a lot to make him better, but he is still a Rainbow Orb Changer. Vegeta does still in slot 2 and 3 have basically 50% damage reduction, 50% dodge. Whereas, like, you know, turn 2, Janemba or Gogeta Super Rose, you lose, right? Turn 1 for Frieza. Vegeta, you've got a shot. You have a shot. Now, I mean, he has one of the most asinine abilities I've ever seen on a character ever. This hurts. This does not help. This is such, I cannot emphasize enough how horrible of an ability this is. I don't know what they were thinking. This hurts you. This lowers your chances of winning. Because it's like, I've found that, like, Super Easy Broly is, like, a very effective character on Vegeta's team, of course. And it's just like, dude, like, this guy just, he takes away all of the rainbow orbs he creates, and he takes away all the rainbow orbs Broly creates and any other character. It's just very frustrating, I've found. This is just such a terrible ability. Just take this away, and I like him better. Give him, you know, right now his stack is 50% and 20%. Give him 50% right there instead of 20. He's going to feel a lot better. There's a couple of things they could have did that would have made this guy significantly better, but I mean, I would rather, like, this guy should feel like the number, if this guy was the number 3 DOKKANFEST TUR on this list right now, I would feel pretty good about him. Because you do need to be crazy, I think, to be above 1 and 2 on this list. I mean, they're really good. But, okay, yeah, I mean, Vegeta ended up, you know, after seeing, you know, a lot of, you know, like, runs and stuff like that using a lot of these characters, I'm comfortable with Vegeta where he is. Unlike, you know, First Form Loser or Super Saiyan Rose Dumbass, like, who just, you know, contribute very little to actually winning. I mean, Vegeta is Rainbow Orb Changing, which is a huge effective ability that those two dumbasses don't have access to. I mean, Rose could do it once he uses Domain, but, I mean, we're going to get into the whole stupid-ass Domain clashing nonsense. Super Bosses was such a... They handled it so badly. It's crazy. Next is Roshi. This is the one character not on Global. Roshi, I mean, he is good. I, you know, would say I like him better than Vegeta. But I mean, Roshi has similar issues to like Rose and First Form Frieza and stuff like that, except Roshi is just flat out a lot better than them. Roshi's impact is better than with his support, and his team is better, because at the end of the day, I mean, Super Bosses has nothing on the level of the 2 UI Gokus that Roshi has. I mean, Tech UI Goku could die right away, for sure, right? And, Bunny Bulma is going to need to dodge for you, maybe Kefla, maybe Videl. Roshi's team is a dodge or die team. You don't have tank characters on Roshi's team, right? You could use, like, sub-EZA Tech God Goku, but guess what? He gets one shot through his damage reduction. Right, like its bosses hit that hard now, so I like Roshi, but his team is gonna die a lot. I think what he's able to do and how effectively he's able to mix with the units on his team, I'm okay putting him in front of Vegeta. Maybe we could get Vegeta in front of him. I mean, it's potentially close. The thing I like about Vegeta is he doesn't have character restrictions at all, right? Like you could rock him on any good team, really. And he's not gonna like be missing out on any of his abilities. Roshi, though, he's filled with restrictions. This is Turtle School, so he needs 2 Turtle School allies on the team, and he needs a Peppy Gal character on rotation, and he needs a Bulma on rotation to have all of his abilities. But he is a Peppy Gal and Turtle School support type character, so you're probably going to be mixing him with those characters anyway. I feel like this is a good spot for Roshi at the moment. Next, we have Toppo. Toppo has fallen off quite a bit here, because base Toppo is no longer good enough to hold down slot 1. Base Toppo will be made a bitch example of, just like, some of these other characters. But Toppo with his intro is probably significantly better than people give him credit for. God Toppo still has the elite defense. I mean, you can get into God Toppo and he could tank Goku and Frieza, he could tank Bulma, he could tank all these bosses. Although, Bulma and Goku and Frieza, it gets very scary fast. But Toppo's got abilities. The other thing Toppo has, I mean, and people just, Toppo's been one of these characters that gets hated on. Like, the same way LR Super Janemba is just, he was hated on when he came out. His EZ8, despite being, like, the best villain in the game besides Tech Broly, he gets hated on. It makes no goddamn sense with Janemba. I'm predicting the same shit will happen with Toppo. I think, Toppo's gonna be, like, a god when he EZAs in 4 years, and, people are just gonna make up all types of excuses why he's not good. Like, he's just one of those, every once in a while we'll get one of those characters, right, where people just hate him. And I think Toppo is probably that. But, people forget that Toppo is a Rainbow Orb Changer, and he's a support as well. Although, to be fair, I mean, this shit was really good in April. Nowadays, not really so much. LR Jiren, it works super good for, but Tech LR Jiren is not that good, and Special Pose, besides at Toppo himself, is not that good, and I guess some of the Gotenks is, just simply because they're dodge or die, right? Whereas a lot of characters, guard and damage reduction, is just death. So there's that. But again, Toppo, even though he's kind of still 4, as you guys are going to see, I think Toppo is significantly down. Toppo, his positioning hasn't changed, but he's actually fallen way off. You guys are going to see in a sec, don't worry. Next is Tech Vegeta. Tech Vegeta has also fallen way off. Tech Vegeta is good. He's definitely better than a lot of the Dokkan Fest TRs we got this year. He's got a nice, strong kit. You guys have seen it. Vegeta will get... This is what I talked about months ago. I mean, I had a lot of people... Go look at any of my other tier lists where I've got, Super Saiyan 3 Goku at 1. And people... I mean, for some reason, people always thought this guy was better than Goku. I think it's because... people tend to resonate better with characters that build up and get stronger. It just seems, because I think it's because that's the old days of Dokkan. I think one reason people hate Dodge so much is that in the old days of Dokkan, Dodge was legitimately worthless. It was. Back then, Dodge was pointless, right? And back then, stacking and stuff like that was the shit. And I think a lot of people have not adapted to the new era. Just because you stack defense doesn't mean shit nowadays. Back then, you were automatically a good character if you stack defense, basically, right? And dodge was worthless. But, things are different now. So, this guy, it's he does build up into a very impressive form, But, I mean, it takes a little bit of time. You're going to want to stack up. In base right away, he could get blasted. Gogeta and Janemba can insta-kill him. He could die very easily against 17 in the Goku and Frieza fight, although I don't want to pretend like this guy can't just sun the Goku and Frieza fight either. He does. He does and can absolutely demolish the Goku and Frieza fight. He works much better for Goku and Frieza and Bulma than he does for, you know, Gogeta and Janemba, I found. Although Bulma, I mean, he's not the greatest for Bulma, but I mean, he can handle business, I guess. He does seal too. For Bulma, that seal matters, right? You put a little dodge on him. Maybe get him in slot 1, you dodge an attack, and then you drop the seal, and then you win, right? Definitely. I like Vegeta, but he is fallen off. He's fallen quite down. Even though his number positioning has not changed, Vegeta and Toppo have fallen off. Now, you know who hasn't fallen off is Fat Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Goku have not fallen off at all. It's crazy how good these guys are. Now, if you guys are curious, yes, I do think you can easily get Fat Buu to number 1 and argue Fat Buu at number 1. I'm not arguing against that. Previously, I thought you could have argued Tech Vegeta as number 1, like pre-Tanabata. I think, like, if someone goes, like, Tech Vegeta's 1, you can make a good argument for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? That's right now. I think Fat Buu... Oh, we don't need this. Fat Buu, you could argue as number 1 easily. I'm not arguing anyone. Anyone that says Fat Buu should be 1, I just go, you know what? I see it. I do. Fat Buu is so good. Like, with the revive and the Ghost Usher and shit like that, he's just effective. To me, it's just less can go wrong with this guy. Fat Buu is an int character, which means he does have 5 dodge. I don't think it's happened to me yet where I've lost because he's 5 dodged, but it can happen. But his revive into Ghost Usher, that gives you so much time to get control of the fight. It's really good. Fat Buu is just, he's really strong. The thing about him, though, it is true that now he is doing no damage. And when I say he does no damage, I mean, like, literally he's doing no damage, right? Like, he can't really damage Goku and Frieza. He's not really doing very much to Bulma. The one thing that's good, though, I mean, if we talk specifically Bulma, I don't think I did videos. Maybe I'll do a video for these guys against Bulma. Because, I mean, I'm gonna, like, we're getting into kind of like a quiet period here. I'm gonna need to come up with ideas for content. But this guy, I mean, he could get a couple of additional supers in that second phase for Bulma. And then, I mean, we know how the Ghost Usher is going to work. I mean, this guy, you know, he could Ghost Usher Dark out of the game Bulma, and then maybe, I don't know what team I'd run, but then we have like Omega or Int Broly or one of these guys just finish Bulma off with a powerful debuff, and the fight is done. It's over. GG. See ya. Right? Because he's on Int Broly's team, right? Because Int Broly leads, oh god, he leads uncontrolled, yeah, because he's uncontrollable power, yeah. So we could, like, run this guy, yeah, dude, I'm silly. We could run this guy on, like, Int Broly's team, again, Fat Buu, like, turn 1 of Dark out of the game Bulma, Fat Buu Ghost Usher, and then we have a Broly on each turn, probably stunning her, and it's GG, like, it's over. This guy is just, like, he's literally invincible at the start of these fights. Like, whereas, like, every character is just getting one shot by Gogeta and Janemba, this guy takes nothing. He takes nothing. He is so crazy. This guy was helped a lot, by the way. I talked about how big of a deal it really was that this guy was on Buu Saga. This guy being on Buu Saga helps Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku so much. But I think that with how strong he is defensively at the start, it's really good. I've found that most of the time, you're not gonna see this guy damage Goku and Frieza, even though he's AGL and stuff like that. You can, but I don't think it's something you're typically going to see too much. But yeah, this guy is just crazy. Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So this is what I've got right here. I actually dropped down Vegeta and Toppo. They're just not as good as Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Fat Buu right now. No way. Vegeta actually ended up being a little bit higher than I thought he was gonna, by the way. But, I mean, Vegeta is just way better, way more safe, doing more for a winning team than, like, Rose and Frieza are. Originally, I thought Vegeta was gonna be below Rose and Frieza, right? Like, in Fantasyland, where there's not actually tough fights that completely counter them, I mean, you know, Rose and Frieza could do some stuff, but you know, unfortunately, it's not how it goes anymore. So, there we go. I feel good about this one. Yeah, Frieza 10, Rose. Yeah, I've thought about maybe putting Rose at 10, but I mean, I think we could rock like this. So, let me know what you guys think. Top 10 Dokkan Fest TURs. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.